Welcome back to Shou Play Seduce Me the Otome. Last time this demon broke in, and my courage skyrocketed.
Since when does a little stain like you give orders to a guy who can rip your pretty little head from your body?
Since now. You really don't think, do you? If you kill me, you'd be hunted down by more than just the police.
You little...
Yeah, duck. I ducked underneath Malix's incoming hand. I stared at his hand and his black flame tattoo in surprise as I took a couple steps back from Malix. Matthew and Damien stepped in front of me, guarding me from Malix with their arms. But I was doing the guarding.
A quick one. I'm liking you more and more.
Thank you. Wait, you're the bad guy.
Back off, Malix!
Don't start acting tough, you pathetic excuse of a demon. You need more protection than her.
You know, he's probably right.
Shut up!
Oh, did I make the little Matthew cry? Why don't you just grow a pair?
Enough, Malix.
And who are you? The woman, who had been standing in silence the whole time, planted a firm hand on Malix's shoulder. Malix looked back at her with a growl and a glare that could kill.
Since when did you get the guts to speak out of place?
And who are you?
We both know you've never controlled me. I want them dead just like you do. But now's not the time.
Why not?
Fuck off! I know what I'm doing.
I don't think you do.
Do you? Even if you did fight them, there's 5 against 2. We never win.
So are these the guys you were fighting in the beginning of the game?
Shut up!
Let's go, Malix! We're wasting our time!
The two growled at each other. If they could have used their magic, I could sense that fire would glow from underneath their feet. Malix grunted and glared at the boys. He pointed at James, wanting so badly to use his fingers like a knife.
Just wait, pretty boys. We'll get you and fuck you up real good.
You got a pretty good crazy laugh going there, though. Then, Malix turned to me, moving his finger to point directly between my eyes.
And don't think you're safe. Step outside. I dare you.
Oh, I will, and you'll see. With that, Malix and the woman walked out of the mansion. The doors closed behind them, leaving the boys and I alone once again. I felt my knees give out from under me, forcing the boys to quickly turn to catch me. You can't do anything yourself, can you?
Whoa! Are you alright?
I think she just panicked. Yeah. Why was he here?
He's been closely tracking us. Our blood trail from the forest must have led him here.
You didn't clean that up?
We should have stopped him and finished it here.
For once, Matthew, I agree with you.
Then why didn't you? I stood up and rubbed my arms, feeling the goosebumps Malix left behind on me. I couldn't stop myself from shivering in fear at his words. Malix, was he a demon?
That son of a bitch is not a demon. He's a devil.
What's the difference? A devil? There's a difference?
Yes, demons come from a different plane of existence called the abyssal planes. Devils, however, come from one of the 7 circles of a place humans know as hell. Despite us not being human, we are very different creatures.
Well, if you say so.
We actually have brains, for one. Devils always like to cause trouble and try to kill or torture others for their own enjoyment. Demons, like us, know when to use our powers and when not to. We're not stupid.
Oh, okay, I see.
Devils follow orders from higher-ups in their order, and their power only comes from their connection to hell. Demons all have free wills and don't rely on where they came from to use their powers.
That sort of makes sense. This was all so confusing. Demons and devils and magic all existed, and I happened to land in the middle of it. What do we do?
You're safe. You've been protected as well.
What?
What Damien's saying is that the magic that protects this place also protects you.
So I could go out to the arcade with my friends. That's fantastic news. How did my grandfather know magic?
Your grandfather must have cast it when you last saw him or something of that nature. We can sense its aura around your body.
How did he know magic? I couldn't believe my ears. It was the third day of surprises, and this one took the cake on being the most surprising. I felt my head spin once again. What did I get myself into? Samantha, you didn't get yourself into anything. You were born into it. It just happened.
Miss, please don't worry. We'll find a way to train ourselves and become stronger to finally finish this feud.
Was that the right voice for the character?
I'm gonna kick his ass right now!
Until then, we'll protect you as much as we can. If Malix comes back, we'll be here for you.
Is it because I have the magic and you want to stay in the magic realm? But what about going outside? Won't he?
Like we said, you have a protection spell on you. Even if Malix attacks you, he won't be able to use his magic on you. He'd be just like any other human you can fight back against.
So he could have like a regular gun, not a devil gun.
Didn't you say you knew Taekwondo?
Taekwondo is useless. Well, yeah. I felt somewhat relieved that I was mostly safe from Malix. Still, I could not help but feel very nervous and apprehensive about the future. The boys were safe here to train and become stronger, but what if Malix did the same? I'm not so sure he's smart enough to do that. Even more so, I was lost about how grandfather knew about magic. I had to find out. At least I had time. I went to bed that night feeling nervous. Despite the words of the incubi, I felt like a target to something I'd never been able to explain or prove. Magic? Devils? Demons? How did this all even happen? Should I really meddle with the situation? They're only staying until after they defeat Malix. That's right, they said they'd only stay until after they defeated Malix. After that, my life could go back to normal. Temporary insanity, as Kay would say. The question was then, would I want them to leave? Yes, you do. If my life went back to normal, then I'd have to care for the house all by my own. I'd get to focus on my life instead of being distracted by the boys. I'd have to. My life. Where was my life going anyway? I was under pressure from my parents with only my friends and the boys to comfort me. Without the boys, I'd have no way to hide from my responsibilities. Enough. Let's just sleep and deal with tomorrow when it comes. Defeating my sense of thought, I forced myself to sleep, unsure of what tomorrow had planned for me. Hopefully, whatever the future had for me, I would be ready for it.
I promise to be with you forever.
What was that?
You're so important to me.
I swear I'll give my life to you.
Please, let me love you.
I'll be by your side, always.
What's going on?
I can't imagine living without you.
I want to be with you.
I love you.
Is this another one of those crazy dreams? I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. My dreams usually have like pictures and stuff. 7 a.m. Why am I up so early? I fell back onto bed and closed my eyes, trying to get back to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why? It's too early to even be alive. This is my general complaint if I'm up before, say, midnight or so. I gave up and sat up, staring at the fireplace across from my bed. A sigh escaped from between my lips before I threw my legs over the side of the bed. What to do at 7 a.m. in the morning? That's a bit redundant. You could just say 7 in the morning, or 7 a.m. Explore. I decided it was a good idea to wander around the house. I never really explored it much as a child, so there were bound to be new surprises. Just what you want, more surprises. Oh, come on, feet, let's go on an adventure! I stood and exited my room, hoping that the boys were still asleep. I began to wander the halls on my end of the house, opening each door to find what room each door led to. Quickly, I found an old office. A desk and chair sat by the far side as a large bookshelf of documents and memorabilia adorned its nooks and crannies. There were a couple pictures of me growing up peeking from the shelf as I walked further into the room. I don't believe I've been in here before. I tried to recall memories of ever seeing this room, coming up with nothing as a result. This room was new to me. Did I want to disturb the furniture? I'm curious. I gently opened the shelves and any drawers I saw in the room. In a couple of them were books and even sewing kits. I assumed they were used for my grandfather's toys, so I left them alone. One drawer, however, was locked, no matter how many times I pulled. That's the idea of locking, you need a key. Come on, open! Nothing. It would not budge. The drawer beside me, it did though, revealing a laptop. Why is there a laptop in a drawer? You're not just gonna leave it on the floor, are you? I lifted it from the drawer and carried it over to the desk and chair, opening it. It was a high-tech laptop with a retina scanner and a pass lock. I was not sure whether or not to try to unlock it. Oh hell yeah, I'm trying. I decided to try. I turned on the computer and leaned my face near the retina scanner, lining the camera with my eye. To my surprise, I heard a ping come from the computer before the screen opened to a desktop. Huh. Look at that. It recognizes my eyeball. Must be some kind of android. On the desktop were documents and folders labeled with different aspects of the Anderson Company. Taxes, profits, bylaws, products. The list went on and on. If I really did want to become the CEO of the Anderson Toys Company, I had everything about it at my fingertips. Dad would sure be impressed. One icon, however, stood out from the rest. Forego? I double-clicked the icon, but no window came up. Instead, I heard a large click from the drawer that was locked. What the? That is a pretty neat locking system. I slowly left my seat and walked over to the drawer, attempting to open it again. It slid open smoothly in the direction of my pulling hand, revealing 2 books. One was a plain black journal with a tie to keep it closed. The other was bound in leather with cryptic symbols all over the cover. I took out the journal and skimmed through it, seeing my grandfather's notes. They were all detailed explanations and opinions on his findings on demon magic. He really did know about magic. I sat down at the desk, and I read through the journal further, finding drawings and sketches of symbols and magic circles, each with their own different meanings and effects. It was all fascinating. There was even a page of important spells to know. I read through them, trying to memorize them in my mind. I didn't know what came over me, but I started to feel more energetic and more powerful, simply reading my grandfather's notes. I was suddenly aware of the energy that surrounded my body and the power that was around the house. The more I read, the more powerful I became. However, my mind suddenly froze and I found myself walking back to the drawer, putting the book back and closing the drawer. The lock reset and I snapped out of it. Huh? What? I shook my head and looked at the drawer, realizing what I had done. I walked over to the desk to reopen the lock, but suddenly felt the need to stop. Something held me back and didn't want me to pry any more than I already had. I was curious beyond belief, but I obeyed my thoughts for now. Eventually, I would come back and look into it. I returned to bed, feeling the weight of the morning drag me under my covers to try sleeping again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday and nothing was happening today. Come on, eyes. Back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? I sighed, got changed into normal clothes, and went out into the main hall and sat on the chairs. Sundays were very boring. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Huh? I quickly went out the backyard in response to the noise that I heard. In the yard were all 5 of the boys, practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle of the other 4 surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks at him. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged each almost masterfully. Nah, they're fine. I just watched. The boys were very much in their own world, focusing on the training they were all in. It was better not to disturb them. I checked the time and decided to head inside to the kitchen. I was getting hungry, and I'm sure the boys would need to eat soon, so lunch was a must. Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. Lunch wasn't particularly hard. I decided to make sandwiches. Because why not? I assembled simple ham sandwiches for all of us. After I poured some potato chips on the side of each sandwich, I felt satisfied. Who said lunch had to be cooked? I placed the food in the dining room. However, none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focus on training. Guess I'll go eat in my room. I decided against bothering them. They knew where the food was, so I went to my room instead and ate alone in my room. Room. It's not my problem. I did not press auto. I turned on my computer and started to jam to music as I ate my food. As I ate, I began to think about going out. There were so many places to go. Things to do. Let's go talk to Grandfather's grave. It was Sunday, and I felt the need to see my grandfather. It had been 3 days since he had been buried, and the cemetery was only a short walk away. I decided to see him. I took my time eating and headed out to the street to walk towards the cemetery. It was a good half-hour walk, but it would be a nice stroll. A flower shop was on the way, so I could pick up flowers for his grave. I still felt the sting of grief run through my bones. But I knew that it would eventually fade over time. I paused my journey to the cemetery to enter the flower shop, quickly picking a bouquet from the back display case and paying. The bouquet of lilies, please. Thank you. With flowers in hand, I made my way to the large steel gates of St. Joseph's Cemetery. I entered and felt the cold shiver of death run through the air against my skin. It's just a cemetery. Would it always be like this? The cemetery was a final resting place. It wasn't just for mourning or sadness, it was supposed to also be a place for remembrance. I sighed as I walked through the cemetery towards my grandfather's grave. Before I could reach it, though, I noticed a figure standing by the slab. Huh? Who's that? I stopped walking and tried to focus my sight to see who was standing at my grandfather's grave before I approached. I didn't want to interrupt a prayer or anything, but even more, I wanted to know exactly who was there. And we'll find out next time!